Happy New Year, everyone. I can't believe that we are already in 2023. I feel like I say that every year, but honestly, it's crazy that we're already in a new year. And one of the first things I want to do is just talk a little bit about gear, how I'm packing my bag for this year. What bag I'm actually using. So that bag is the Peak Design everyday bag, the 30 liter, not the 20, the 30. And so it was 2 years ago when I was trying to figure out which bag I wanted to use and more bags just kept coming out. I wanted a bag that didn't utilize the back to open up and reach everything. I didn't like that design. I had used a bag like that in the past and it was just too cumbersome to have to take it all the way off your back, find a place to lay it down and unzip it, and then reach in and grab your stuff and then have to bring it back up and throw it back on your back. I just felt like that was just too cumbersome, and that's why I really got excited about this Peak Design everyday bag. I was excited because of just the idea of being able to still have it on my shoulder, but to be able to throw it around and unzip it and grab something out and then zip it back up and it's still on my shoulder. I'm not having to take it fully off, and that's why I really love this bag, and I've been able to really enjoy it over the last 2 years because of the flexibility of being able to do that quickly. So let's talk about what's actually in this bag. And so I'm gonna start from the very top. And so from the top, I've got the tech pouch. This is the Peak Design tech pouch. And I love this as well because this just keeps all of my loose ends. So all of the cables, chargers, MacBook charger, Canon charger, cables to charge. I'm also carrying around Sandisk Portable SSDs. All that stuff is in here. We've even got a little multi-tool from Small Rig that I try and keep along with me as well. All of those loose ends are tucked away inside of the tech pouch so that nothing's floating around in the actual bag, but it's all tucked in here. What I want in my bag is options. That's a big thing for me, is having options. I want to be able to have options with the cameras that I take and be really intentional with those cameras. So it may seem like maybe overkill in terms of the different cameras that I'm using and different camera systems, but I just love having the options. So what I have from here is the Fujifilm X100F, and I've talked about this earlier this year, or actually back in 2022, I love this camera for photos. I don't use this camera for video, even though it does have video capabilities. The video capabilities are not great, but for photos, the photos are exceptional. I love these photos. So if I want a camera that I can just easily throw on, go into tourist mode, capture photos easily, and I'm not having to worry about changing lenses, the Fujifilm X100F or the Fujifilm X100V, which is a nicer version, that is my go-to to take along with me for photos, travel photos, photos of the family, documenting my life. That's the camera. And then this custom strap brought to you by my mother this past Christmas is a custom-made leather strap, but it uses the Peak Design anchors so that you can easily pop it off and then throw on another one, or if you don't want to have a strap on there, you don't have to. So yeah, Fujifilm X100F. Then I have the DJI Air 2S, and that is still going to be my drone of choice for this year, the DJI Air 2S. 5K resolution, 10-bit color. That's the reason why I'm not gonna be moving away from it in 2023, even though there's the Mavic 3 Classic and Mavic 3 Pro and the Mini 3 Pro. This camera, or the camera on this drone, is still exceptional. It still meets all my needs for commercial work, all my personal work. And so I have that, and it's still small enough to be able to throw in the top half of the bag. So I have that in there. I don't carry it with the actual bag that it came with, because if I do that, it's gonna take up the entire top half and I won't have room for much else. So that's why I typically start to pack it like this. All right, so that is all that's in the top half. And then as we move to the, oh, wait, hold on, let's talk about what's in this sleeve over here. This is the Sony ZV-1. And what I got the Sony ZV-1 for is just for those moments where you want to be more discreet. For vlogging or just capturing just daily video, or just, you know, if you're documenting something and it's just kind of those in-between moments, I want it to be more discreet than pulling out my Canon R5 with my 24-70, which is just a bigger setup. It's not huge, but it's bigger. And so the ZV-1 was really just to be able to honestly just casually just kind of carry it around here and capture those in-between moments, those, you know, maybe throw it on the Mantis Pod, which I have over here. throw it on here, do some vlogging with this, or set it up in the tripod mode to be able to do time lapses or things like that. That's why I got the ZV-1, because it shoots 4K 24 and 30. It doesn't shoot 4K 60, but it also shoots raw photos as well, and the photos are beautiful. So this thing can do a lot. I won't say it can do everything. Also has S-Log2 and S-Log3, so being able to color grade is super nice and get some more dynamic range out of it. It doesn't have everything, but it has enough that I'm excited to carry this thing around and get just some more content, to be able to create some more content. And then as I move to the bottom half of the bag, then that's where I have my Canon R5 with my 24-70 Tamron. This is actually an EF lens that I've had for almost 3 years. So yes, I do have to use the adapter. It's an incredible lens. It's a lens that has done me well so much over the last 3 years. It has helped me to grow my business with this lens. So I love this lens. It also just gives me plenty of range when I'm traveling. So the 70 is a really nice zoom. Obviously it'd be great sometimes to have 200, but then the 24 is really nice for those wider shots that you want to have. And obviously we know that the R5 is a beast when it comes to photo and video. Of course it can have some issues with overheating, but honestly, if you're just not in the high frame rate modes or doing anything too crazy, it's not really going to overheat that much or really at all. So yeah, when I need to do more high-end photos and have that 45 megapixels or more high-end video and have 60 or 120 frames, or just really nice clean video in C-Log3. I love the colors out of the Canon more than the Sony, just hot take. So that's why I professionally use this one more over like the ZV-1 or something else. So yeah, so I'll pack that one in there as well. And then I also, for that one, have a actual Peak Design strap, this gray one. And again, it has the anchors to where I can be able to just throw that on the R5, or if I want to throw that on the Fujifilm, I can easily swap that in and out. I'm not worrying about having to tie these straps to a camera and then untie it and then retie it and all those kinds of things. Let's talk about this back portion here, which you unzip, and this has my MacBook Pro for obviously editing, photos and videos and communication. I carry a little battery pack in there as well, to be able to charge the Fujifilm, the ZV-1, or just some other accessories. Try and keep this charged so that I can always carry it with me and charge up other things. And then I have my AirPods Pro, which obviously is just great for when you travel to listen to music or podcasts, but then also to be able to connect to the MacBook Pro and edit and listen to audio without disturbing anybody. I can also typically fit my iPad Pro in here when I'm traveling, and typically I'm using that honestly for the kids, for them to be able to watch shows in the car and things like that. So it's great that I can pack all of that camera gear in here, plus a laptop, and sometimes plus the iPad, all in one bag. Yes, at that point when I throw the iPad in here, it's getting pretty heavy, but without the iPad, I mean, it's still a pretty hefty bag, but I can honestly say after 2 years that the padding and the wear of the bag has held up tremendously. So even if you do have a heavy setup in the bag, the straps haven't worn out, and everything is honestly just designed really, really well and designed to hold up. It's not waterproof, but it is somewhat water resistant, which is really nice. Obviously I wouldn't want to like hike around or run around in just a downpour of rain, but if there's a little bit of rain, or if it's just a little bit moist outside, it's really nice to have this slick surface, which is a little bit more water resistant. Of course, if I'm going to shoot only client content, if I'm doing my commercial work, then I'm going to take along my Pelican 1510, and I'll make another video just talking about how I pack this and how I take this on commercial shoots. So yes, if I'm actually doing like a lot of commercial work, if it's not all just for YouTube or for just documenting my life and travel, then I'm gonna be using the Pelican and throwing that in the vehicle. It's gonna protect the gear a lot better. It's gonna give me more options in terms of everything that I can carry. And yeah, Pelican 1510, I'll do another video on that one. Oh, and I forgot to mention that often I do carry what I'm actually recording audio on right now, which is the Tentacle Sync. I carry this around in my bag as well if I want just better, cleaner audio for vlogging, or just for a setup like this, a talking head where I'm gonna be talking to the camera. I'll carry this around with me. The reason why I love this one is the battery's amazing. The audio is so good. It has 32-bit float, which is kind of like raw audio, which is phenomenal. And it easily connects to my phone, so I can monitor and change a lot of things via the app. And the app is very responsive and user-friendly. And so this is an incredible microphone that tucks away really nice and neat. It's not big at all, and I can throw that in the bag as well. All right, so yeah, that's what is in my bag for 2023, what I'm carrying around with me. I've really thought hard about this. I've really made sure to bring the options of cameras and the options of accessories that I really like, while also not going overboard. I think for some people, you might think that 4 cameras is overboard. And I will say that there are times that I don't take every single camera. Like most recently, when I was traveling with a family, just wanting to create some content and document my life, I actually didn't take my Canon R5. And the reason for that is just, it is a bulkier camera and a bulkier setup. Just more likely with my kids to either get broken or to get stolen if we're traveling. So yeah, there are times when I'll only take the Fujifilm for photos, and I'll take the ZV-1 for videos and photos. And sometimes I will leave out the drone if it's gonna be a place that I know that I'm not gonna want drone video or photos of, or it's just not gonna be a good time for me to be able to fly it. I'll leave that out as well and just go down to 2 cameras. But if I want all of my options, and I know that I'm going to need some higher end video, and I know that I'm gonna want some aerials, I have the option to be able to take all those with me. And then even if I want to leave some of that stuff behind in my room or wherever I'm staying, I can do that, and I can just carry the Fujifilm with me and the ZV-1, or even ultimately I could just carry the ZV-1 with me to do photos and video and just have a super minimal, super small setup. For me, at least, it's all about options. I like to have options. I like to have flexibility. I don't want to be strapped with a bigger camera setup and that's all I've got, because a lot of times if the camera is bigger, I'm gonna end up probably using it a lot less just because it's bulkier to carry around. It's just bulkier, and bulk a lot of times keeps me from creating the way that I want to create, even though it's an exceptional camera. And I know that's probably just like a hurdle that I need to get over myself, but it's just true. Smaller cameras make me want to film with them more often, and I'm just discovering that and enjoying that having smaller cameras is allowing me to capture the moments that I want to capture. So I'm excited about that going into 2023. All right, if you have any questions about gear, about packing, about a bag, drop those comments and questions below. Would love to talk to you about that. If you guys want to see more videos about packing or arranging or what kind of gear, if you want to see that video about the Pelican 1510, please let me know in the comments as well. If you enjoyed this video, hey, hit that like button. And if you're enjoying this content and this channel and you're not subscribed, I would encourage you to subscribe. Take the moment right now, help me out in 2023, subscribe. Because yes, I want 2023 to be a huge year for this channel, to give you all more insight and knowledge into filmmaking, photography, the business of doing all that. Because yes, I have a business doing all this for clients. And yeah, just some more adventures and all that kind of stuff too. So, all right, you guys, I'll see you all on the next video. Peace.